Graduates, don't. Good afternoon, everyone. Graduates, we're working on making sure you all are getting into your rows and having a seat. In the meantime, would everyone please rise if you are able for the playing of our national anthem. Leading us in the anthem is Latrice Bradshaw, a music ministry leader, lead vocalist, and consultant based out of Chicago.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
You may be seated. For the graduates, we are unfortunately not one extra row wasn't set up. So for you graduates that are standing, if you just be willing to go to the side there and please come around to the front of the podium here and go stand to the side. We're setting up another row of seats for you, so please be patient. If there are any seats available once people sit down, please fill in the seats available in the front. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Reach. There are 14 seats available. If we could count off 14 of the graduates who may proceed to these seats. Got it now? Please take any available seat. Good afternoon and welcome to the 2026 commencement ceremony of the Chicago-Kent College of Law at Illinois Tech, where we always have the proper number of seats available, and we train our students to think on the fly and work together to solve problems. I'm Dean Zarneski, and I'm pleased to welcome our 2026 graduating class, their friends, families, and loved ones to recognize this great accomplishment. And I'm proud and thrilled to be the first to say it. Congratulations to the class of 2026. Commencement is a moment to reflect on what you have all accomplished and what you hope to accomplish in the future. It's a rite of passage, and you can share it with those of you that you love, your faculty, your friends, the staff, all of those who have seen you grow into the role of attorney and advocate. And of course, in celebrating here today, we have to recognize this would not be possible without your family, your friends, and your loved ones. So a big round of applause to everyone here today behind you and everyone who has helped you accomplish this goal. I also want to say that events like this can't happen. Your education can't happen without all the people who often go unrecognized. The catering teams, the janitorial staff, the security teams, the photographers, the audio-visual crew, all those people who you forget to say thank you to every day. So a huge round of applause for all of those individuals. This afternoon, I want us to have focus on why we're here. It's a moment of celebration and reflection, the beginning of an amazing new chapter for all of you. And with me today are my amazing and inspiring colleagues. I'm thankful for their expertise, their kindness, and their generosity, and their commitment to everything that has to do with the Chicago-Kent College of Law. I'm going to introduce some dignitaries we have today. First, Provost Hudson of the Illinois Institute of Technology. Please stand so we can recognize you. Also joining us today is Michael Galvin, 1978 Chicago-Kent graduate and chair of the University Board of Trustees. Mel Flowers, 2003 Chicago-Kent graduate and member of the University Board of Trustees. Frank Clark III, 1998 Illinois Tech Institute of Technology graduate and member of the board. Thank you for joining us today. Also joining us today is Illinois Attorney General and 1993 Chicago-Kent grad, Kwame Rule. Now, it's a very special day for Kwame. He will be hooding his daughter as she earns her Juris Doctorate degree. What a wonderful day for your family. Finally, I would like to recognize the many alumni of the Chicago-Kent College of Law who are joining us here today. If you're a Chicago-Kent alum, please stand so that we may recognize you. Thank you. Graduates, you've worked so hard. You've made the most out of your education, and now you're well positioned for future success. I wish you all the success in your career, wherever that may take you. I encourage you to seek out careers of meaning and joy, and to do so with integrity and civility. I'm confident in all of your future. Now I am pleased to introduce our first speaker, who represents the JD class of 2026, Anna Marie Warfield. Anna, a graduate of the University of Kentucky, where she earned a dual degree in Spanish and Environmental and Sustainability Studies in 2023. At Chicago-Kent, she distinguished herself in both her academic achievement and leadership. She worked in the Energy and Environmental Law Clinic with Professor Keith Harley and contributed to legal research with Professor Nassim Marder. Beyond the classroom, she served as executive articles editor for the Chicago-Kent Law Review, was a member of the Moot Court Honor Society, and held leadership positions on the executive board of the Chicago-Kent Environmental Law Society during both her second and third year of law school. Last summer, she worked as a summer associate in the Chicago office at Catton, and upon graduating, she will join the firm's corporate division full-time. Please join me in congratulating Anna on being the first member of her family to graduate law school. Anna, I invite you to the podium.
Thank you for that introduction. Good afternoon. I am honored to be here and so excited to celebrate this day with all of you. This moment would not be possible without the faculty and staff at Chicago-Kent. Thank you for your dedication to educating, guiding, and supporting the class of 2026. We will surely appreciate your influence for the years to come. Standing here today is bittersweet. While I am admittedly grateful that our last final season is behind us, being a part of the Chicago-Kent community over the past few years has been incredibly rewarding. I think this sense of community is what drew many of us to study here in the first place, and together as a class, we reached the milestones that came to define our law school experience. From the very first day, we learned what it meant to brief a case and to think on our feet during code calls. Then we quickly put this newfound knowledge to practice. We externed for judges, participated in in-house clinics, and completed our very first legal internships. Outside of the classroom, we also invested our time in the ample opportunities offered at Chicago-Kent. We competed in national and even international moot court and trial team competitions. We studied abroad and brought those lessons back to share with our peers. Through our student-run journals, we published meaningful academic work, and through our student groups, we advocated for causes across the city of Chicago and raised funds to support our classmates as they pursued public interest roles. And in between reading hundreds of pages of casebooks and desperately color-coding our calendars, we made lasting relationships. Classmates we met at orientation in our first-year sections, and through the many student groups at Kent, turned into lifelong friends. Professors became mentors, offering guidance that went far beyond the classroom, and we learned to rely on these connections when we needed support the most. We also grew more than I think a lot of us expected. We stretched 24-hour days into what felt like 48, learned more than we ever thought we would about things like geofence warrants and the dreaded rule against perpetuities, and tried, sometimes successfully and sometimes not, to hold on to hobbies and passion projects despite the stressful deadlines. Some of us maintained full-time jobs while navigating law school, and others built and grew families along the way. No two of our paths looked alike, and yet we all made it here, to graduation. If you are anything like me, certainty often feels easier. But in law school, where the answer is famously "it depends," there wasn't much of it to find. There was no single blueprint for success. Instead, the key was trusting that our own individual paths and processes, however different they might have looked, would ultimately bring us here, to this moment. And still, while there were times it may have felt like we were navigating confusing case law or wading through endless job opportunities on our own, law school has been anything but an insular journey. So, to our families, friends, partners, and mentors here to celebrate with us today, thank you. We truly would not be here without your support, your sacrifice, and your encouragement. Mom, Dad, and Lauren, thank you for being my rocks, for your endless love and your unwavering support. Now, as we look ahead, we are about to enter a profession marked by great privilege and profound responsibility. Recognizing the role that we play in society is especially important given the state of the rule of law. It's one thing to learn the contours of doctrine in the classroom, and quite another to witness its real-world serious consequences in our communities across the country. So, whether we are joining public interest organizations, stepping in the judiciary, or entering the private sector, we all have a role to play in shaping what the law and justice is and what it should be. I'm grateful that we have each other to learn from as we continue to meet these new challenges. Our paths to law school brought us here in unique ways, and they will inevitably take us in different directions next. However, our time at Chicago-Kent serves as an intermediary, a shared grounding point. It's the part of our lives and our legal careers that we got to experience together. I, for one, am so thankful it was with this group of graduates. So congratulations and thank you, class of 2026. I can't wait to see all that we will accomplish.
Thank you so much, Anna, for those inspiring words. I'm now pleased to introduce our LL.M class speaker,
Andre Berezovsky. Andre, partner at Icon Partners Law Firm, where he advises international clients in the IT sectors on cross-border transactions, regulatory compliance, and emerging legal frameworks, including real-world asset tokenization. Good luck saying that 10 times fast. With extensive experience in venture capital structuring, international taxation, and IP, Andre has built a reputation as a strategic advisor navigating the evolving intersection of law, technology, and finance. Prior to becoming a partner, he served in associate and senior associate roles, deploying deep expertise in complex international legal matters, while also mentoring junior legal professionals. Originally from Lviv, Andre has a bachelor and master's degree from Yaroslav Moody National University. He has also completed specialized studies in corporate finance at the University of California, Berkeley, in contract law, and in contract law at Yale Law School. Fluent in Ukrainian and English, Andre brings a global perspective and technical legal expertise to today's rapidly evolving technology-driven regulatory environment. Please join me in welcoming Andre to the stage.
Thank you, Dean Chernetsky, for this introduction. Good afternoon, distinguished faculty, honored guests, proud family and friends, and most importantly, the graduating class of Chicago Kent College of Law. Standing here today is both privilege and responsibility that I do not take lightly. Today we celebrate modern degrees, we celebrate perseverance, we celebrate reinvention, we celebrate quiet moments no one saw, long nights reading cases, uncertainty before exams, pressure of balancing work, family, finances, immigration journeys, and personal sacrifices while pursuing legal education. A LL.M degree is not simply earned through intelligence, it's earned through resilience. Many of us arrived at Chicago Kent from different countries, different legal systems, different languages, and different life experiences. But despite all of those differences, we find someone powerful. We find that law is not merely a profession, it's a common language of responsibility. Over the past year, we studied contracts, bankruptcy, constitutional principles, legal ethics, corporate governance. But beneath every doctrine was the same underlying question: what kind of society we want to build? Because law is never just about statutes and cases. Law shapes human lives, and it determines whether families are protected, whether business survive, whether rights are respected, and whether justice is accessible to the people who need it most. And as graduates, we inherit both opportunities and burdens that come with that responsibility. We graduate at a time of extraordinary change. Technology is reshaping legal profession. Artificial intelligence is changing our industry. Economic inequality continues to widen. Democracies around the world are being tested. But despite all of this uncertainty, I remain optimistic, because I have seen the people sitting in front of me today, the classmates helping one another when competition would be easier. The international students navigate completely new legal system with courage and humility. I have seen future advocates who care deeply about justice, ethics, and service. That gives me hope. One of the greatest lessons law school teaches us is that there are always arguments on both sides. But beyond advocacy, there is another lesson we must carry forward. Our profession is strongest when it's guided not only by intelligence, but by integrity. Our success will not be measured only by titles, salaries, and billable hours. Our paths will be measured how we use our knowledge, whether we use it responsibly, where we remain honest when honesty is difficult, where we protect fairness when fairness is unpopular, whether we remember human consequences behind every legal issue. The legal profession gives us influence. How we use that influence will define our legacy. For many of us, this degree represents dream fulfilled, not only for ourselves, but for our families. Some parents sacrifices opportunities so they could see their children standing here today. Some friends encouraged us when we doubted ourselves the most. To all of them, this accomplishment belongs to you too. And to the faculty of Chicago Kent, thank you for challenging us not only to think like lawyers, but think critically, globally, and ethically. Your mentorship will remain with us long after today. And thank you to Dean Jason Chernetsky and Associate Dean Adam Weber for your support and making us feel welcome at Chicago Kent. You gave us hope and opportunity for a brighter future. Classmates, today we live as graduates, but also we live as ambassadors of this institution and the rule of law itself. Years from now, we may not remember every case we studied, but we'll remember how this journey changed us. We arrived seeking knowledge, we live with perspective. We arrived seeking credentials, we live with responsibility. And we arrived as people from different backgrounds, we live as a community. As we move forward to courtrooms, boardrooms, public service, government offices, academia, and businesses around the world, we may carry with us not only ambition, but humility, not only confidence, but also compassion. The law gives us ability to change outcomes. Let us also use it to change and improve human lives. To the class of 2026, congratulations. We earned this moment. Thank you.
Thank you to our student speakers. As is our tradition, I would now like to note a few members of the graduating class who have been recognized by their peers for their extraordinary contributions to the law school. Specifically, the Bar and Gavel Awards that honor those who have provided outstanding service to Chicago Kent, the community, and the legal profession. Ivana Bailey Munoz. Glenn Batista. Colleen Christensen. Rachel Yuen. Jacqueline Garcia. Brennan Braun. Rachel Lehman. Colleen McCormick. Serena Napolitano. Rodrigo Perez. Gabriela Trevino Gutierrez. And Micah Villanueva. Congratulations to each of you on your achievements. Now I'm pleased to introduce to the podium this year's Student Bar Association President, the amazing Ivana Bailey Munoz. There she is.
Hi. Thank you, Dean Zarneski. It's especially meaningful to me today that my final act as Student Bar Association President is to introduce today's commencement speaker. Before meeting our commencement speaker, I did what we were taught, I did my research, and by that I mean I creeped, and I was very intimidated by everything he has accomplished. But when I met him, what stood out was not just his success, but it was how he made me feel. How I left that conversation feeling energized, inspired, and genuinely excited to keep pushing in my law career. Tarek Fidel, a Chicago-based entrepreneur, investor, civic leader, and 2003 Chicago Kent College of Law graduate. Tarek is the founder of AdaptABar, the pioneering legal ed tech platform that transformed the bar exam preparation for law students across all 50 states and more than 75 countries before its successful sale to private equity in 2019. Today, Tarek leads Henny Capital. His family office focused on investments across real estate, private equity, venture capital, and public markets. In addition to his business leadership, he has remained deeply engaged in legal education and civic service, including serving as president of the Alumni Board at Chicago-Kent College of Law and as a trustee of Lincoln Park Zoo, where he chairs the Learning and Community Engagement Committee. In 2014, Illinois Tech honored him as an outstanding young alumnus. In 2016, the Chicago-Kent Alumni Association presented him with an award for distinguished service. He and his wife Ann are passionate supporters of charitable organizations throughout Chicago, including Lurie Children's Hospital, PAWS Chicago, and the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, where Tarek previously served as a governing member. Tarek has served in advisory and leadership roles across several Illinois State Bar Association and American Bar Association committees, supporting initiatives in legal education and professional development. During his time at Chicago-Kent, as a student, he served as president of the Student Bar Association. Tarek received multiple accolades for leadership and service, including the American Bar Association's Student Bar Association President of the Year Award, the Bar and Gavel Award, and the Distinguished Service Award. Tarek is widely recognized for his leadership, philanthropy, and commitment to creating a lasting impact in the Chicago community. Tarek is a reminder of what is possible with hard work and the right mindset. My hope is that after hearing from him today, we all walk away with a renewed sense of strength as we take on what comes next. Please join me in welcoming Tarek Vidal to the podium.
Thank you, Ivana, for that. 23 years ago, I sat in a chair like one of yours. I didn't have a job, I didn't have a plan, and in a few weeks, I was going to make a decision that everyone who loved me at the time told me was insane. They were right, it was. I'll come back to that. First, take a look around, take a breath. You are graduating in the 250th year of the United States of America. Every generation of American lawyers before you inherited a country that somebody else built. You're graduating into a moment when the country itself is asking out loud whether the experiment still works, not whether it will continue, whether it's worth continuing. That is the audience for your career. That is the room that you're walking into. And I want to tell you before anything else that if you have real ambition, not the kind that you put on a resume, you have walked into the best decade to be a lawyer in the last 50 years, maybe the best ever. I'm not exaggerating. I'll tell you why, but first I owe you a story. Before law school, I worked in technology during the Y2K era when every company in America was tearing out its old systems and bolting on new ones. To bill at a higher rate, I needed certification. Those certification exams were adaptive. They didn't ask 100 questions, they asked a few. And after each answer, the next question got harder or easier depending on how you'd done. By question 15, the system might know exactly what you know and exactly what you didn't. I started law school in 2000, and I'll be honest with you, I was not an exceptional law student. I gravitated to student government because that's where I felt at home. By my third year, I was the president of the Student Bar Association, and that role gave me two things that I didn't expect. I became the head representative for Barbary, so I learned exactly how bar prep was sold to law students. Also, I sat on the faculty curriculum committee. The professors were trying to figure out what made students pass the bar and what didn't. They didn't have data, they had instincts. They were making decisions about your future based on what they could feel, not what they could measure. After graduation, I started studying for the bar. The bar prep course was, to put it kindly, a terrible product, designed for a student exactly in the middle of the bell curve. No way to focus on what I didn't know, no way to skip what I already did. I sat in that classroom week after week, watching hundreds of students waste hundreds of hours. And I kept thinking, somewhere in technology, this problem has been solved. There's an adaptive engine out there. Why is it not in here? Around the 4th of July, I was eating a sandwich with two friends at a Subway and complaining about it as I do. And I said, half joking, that I should build an online program that figures out what each student knows and doesn't know and adapts. I said, I'll call it Adaptabar. They laughed. A couple of weeks later, I called Kingsley. He had taught a seminar in legal technology that I'd taken. I told him the idea. He said it was brilliant, and if I was willing to take the risk, he'd mentor me through the building of the technology. He and I would later co-invent and patent what we created. The lawyer who got that patent across the finish line was also an adjunct here at Chicago Kent and now sits on our board of overseers. When Kingsley agreed to mentor me, I offered him 10% of the company. He refused and said, when I need you, you'll be there for me. That was our deal. So please, nobody tell him how big Adaptabar became. So I made a decision. I withdrew from the July 2003 bar exam. I told almost no one. The plan was I would build the program, take the bar with it 18 months later, and that would be the proof. So I did, and I passed. When I told my best friend Tom the plan, he laughed. Then he realized I wasn't joking. Then he, like everyone else, was sure that I had lost my mind. The market had a sharper version of the same critique. For years afterward, when I tried to sell the program, I heard the same question over and over. Why would students study online for a test they take on paper? Remember that line, why would students study online for a test they take on paper? That was a serious question asked by serious people in 2003, in 2004, in 2005. It's funny now. It wasn't funny then. It was the consensus. Here's the lesson, and it's the most important thing I'll say to you today. Every age of transformation looks ridiculous to the people standing inside it. The right answer always sounds stupid when it's still early. If your idea is obviously good to everyone you tell it to, you're probably too late. You're graduating into an age of transformation. Artificial intelligence is going to do to the practice of law what the internet did to bar prep, what the printing press did to the church, what the railroad did to the frontier. Some of you are afraid of that. Stop it. Fear is what your competition is doing. You should be running toward it. This is your moment. It looks ridiculous from the inside. It'll look obvious from the outside 20 years from now. But I'd be lying to you if I told you that any of this is free. Within a year of starting Adaptabar, the company wasn't costing me much to run. My life, on the other hand, was costing me a lot. I had a condo in the city, paid for with money I'd earned before law school. I sold it, sold my car, and rented a bedroom for my friend Rich, and that bedroom became Adaptabar's second office. I should mention, Rich worked for Barbary. So picture it. The founder of a bar prep startup, working out of a spare room in the home of an employee of the incumbent, building a product whose entire pitch was that the incumbent wasn't good enough. Within 12 months, the company was profitable. Within 15 years, Adaptabar was being used by close to 40,000 students a year, roughly half of all US bar exam takers. Here's the postscript. In 2019, I sold Adaptabar to West Academic. 2 years later, Barbary acquired West Academic. So the company I built in a bedroom rented from a Barbary employee is now owned by Barbary, and the circle closes. Here's the second lesson, and listen carefully because this part is not fun. Ambition will cost you. It will cost you the version of yourself that you currently like. It'll cost you sleep, money, certainty, and the people who like the safer version of you. Pay it anyway. The thing that you are about to become is worth so much more than what you're about to spend. For me, the cost was a house and a car and a measure of pride that came from not renting a bedroom from somebody else. For you, it'll be different. It might be hours, it might be salary, it might be the linear path that everyone in your life is currently telling you to take. It might be the version of yourself that other people have already decided you're going to be. You are going to have to give some of that up. Not all of it, and not forever. But the thing you build, whatever it is going to ask you to put something of yours down so that you have a free hand to pick up the new thing. Nobody who's ever built anything will tell you otherwise, and the ones who pretend otherwise are selling you something. Here's one more thing I have to tell you, and it's the truest thing I know. By every formal measure, Adaptabar was a one-person company in the beginning. No investors, no partners, no board, no advisory committee. On paper, I built it alone. Thing is, I didn't build it alone, not for 1 minute. I wouldn't be standing on this stage today if a Jewish woman in 1970s Beirut had not decided that her son needed a different country. My mother was the only woman in her law school class. She graduated at the top of it. Then she was forbidden from joining the bar because of her gender and her religion. I was born the year the Lebanese Civil War began. My mother had to check into the hospital days before her due date because if labor started during a curfew, she wouldn't be able to make it there. When she arrived, the wounded and the dead were pouring through the doors. She was ignored for days, lying on a gurney in the hallway until somebody finally induced her. When we came home, she put my bassinet behind the television set so that if a shell hit the building, the broken glass would hit the screen instead of her son. After 9 months of intense fighting, she got us out. She could have taken us anywhere. There were 100 countries on the map that would have been closer or easier. She chose this one. She chose it because for 200 years, American lawyers had been doing the slow, unglamorous, generation after generation work of forming a more perfect union. And she wanted her son to grow up in the country those lawyers built. Everything I've ever done is built on that decision. Every degree, every dollar, every word I'm saying to you right now. I tell you this because I want you to understand something about the country that you're about to practice law in. People still come here. They still choose this place over every other option on the map. They're still betting their children's lives on the work that you are about to do. That bet is the whole job. Don't forget who's making it. Then there are the others. Kingsley, who refused 10% of a company because the relationship was worth more to him than the equity. Tom, who thought I had lost my mind, but supported me every step of the way and stuck around to watch the whole thing happen. Rich, who rented me a bedroom, even though we worked on opposite sides of an industry. My mother, again, who put $35,000 on her credit card so that I could start the company. The 72 students who, in February of 2004, took a chance on a product nobody had ever heard of, built by a guy who hadn't even passed the bar exam yet. I could stand here and name people for the next 4 hours. I won't, but understand something. The story of any successful career, properly told, is mostly a list of other people. And if you don't believe me, look around this room right now. Not at me, at each other, at the people next to you, at your families, at the friends who got you through your 1L year, and the professors who made you better than you were when you walked in. You feel that? That's not pride. That's not relief. That's hope. That is the electricity that gets generated when a room full of people who have built something extraordinary together sit in the same room and recognize what they've built. It's the most powerful force I know. It is the only thing that has ever made anything better than it was before. Hope is the bet that our future is brighter than our past. Every person in this room is making that bet right now, whether you know it or not. The work of your career is to keep making it, to keep generating that electricity, so that to keep being the reason other people in other rooms feel it too. That is what lawyers do when they do this job right. Now let me come back to where we started. You are graduating in the 250th year of the American experiment. The rule of law is not self-executing. It does not maintain itself. It's carried year after year, generation after generation by lawyers who pick it up every morning and carry it one more day. Sometimes they do that quietly in a conference room on a Tuesday afternoon by refusing to do something that they've been asked to do. Sometimes they do it loudly in a courtroom in front of the entire nation. Most of the time, though, nobody's watching, and it still happens. That is the job. That is the entire job. It is the reason this profession exists, and it is the reason that your generation in this year, in this country, matters more than lawyers have mattered in this country in 100 years. In 1776, 56 men signed their names to a document, and in the last line, pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to defend what they had written. That wasn't poetry. They were betting their necks. Most of them stood to lose everything they owned, and several of them did. They signed anyway. Then they did the only thing that a generation can do with a country it's just risked everything to start. They handed it to their children and asked them to keep it. 8 generations have done the same thing since. My grandparents' generation kept it through a depression and a world war. My parents' generation kept it through assassinations and a country that nearly tore itself in half. My generation has kept it imperfectly through whatever you want to call the last 23 years. Each of us got the same instructions when it was handed to us. Don't drop it, don't sell it, don't let it die on your watch, and when the time comes, hand it to the next set of hands stronger than you found it. Today, I hand it to you. Dean Sarneski, distinguished guests, Ivana, faculty, families, friends, graduates of the class of 2026, thank you for the immense honor of standing here. Congratulations. Now go to work.
Thank you so much, Tarek. Thank you for joining us at commencement and for sharing those engaging remarks. And now, it is with great pleasure that I present the graduates for the class of 2026. I call upon Associate Dean for LL.M and International Programs, Adam Weber, to the side podium.
Thank you, Dean Zarnaski. Today, the names of the graduates who are present will be called. Please hold your applause until all candidates have received their degrees. Starting first, I present the 2026 recipients of the dual degree, Master of Laws and Master of Business Administration. Will the candidates please rise and come forward? Chevak Basmacha. Sakshi Sanjay Banushali. Next, I have the pleasure of presenting the 2026 recipients of the Master of Laws, LL.Ms. Will the candidates for the Master of Laws in U.S., International, and Transnational Law, Global Business and Financial Law, International Intellectual Property, AI, Legal Innovation and Technology, and lastly, Trial Advocacy, please rise and come forward. First, beginning with the Master of Laws in U.S. International and Transnational Law. Danilo Antoshek. Sopiko Baidoshvili. Muhammad Balkaya. Anna Berkashvili. Pavlo Bondarenko. Lisa Amaria. Yuri Dotsko. Yahia Denadeni. Helena Jeriliko. Ksenia Holoshevitz. Dongfang Huang. Tamta Igarkava. Christine Kajaya. Gedeon Kakande Wabanza. Azum Kaplan. Elif Delara Kaya. Kinsey Carradine. Roman Kumara. Irina Kumara. Kubra Goche Koiju. Tuche Elif Kurt. Yi Li. Umut Alajan Nur. Claire Olinger. Leila Mizgin Onal. Parsuram Pandi. Henri Papunashvili. Wang Lu Pen. Flavie Bissalsi. Maria Puyol Perez Cabezos. Sanzar Rakishev. Sinan Ramazanov. Karina Reshetniak. Nadia Rohalska. Natalia Rusumova. Yili Sadiku. Milene Sharadian. Natya Sakhokia. Ruslan Stafik. Yulia Stelmach. Nana Suramanije. Clara Chikognia. Alexandra Taratunska. Mikola Volachchuk. Baisheng Zhu. Yang Yu. Wenqi Zhao. At this time, we'll be presenting the graduates of the Master of Laws in Global Business and Financial Law. Shamama Alakparova. Andriy Berezhovsky. Natalia Chirva. Philippe Dermont. Amélie Marie Dutrell. Mariam Galtsian. Banu Gulieva. Natalia Hertova. Emirhan Kayan. Avisa Kushi. Emma Moreno. Galimjan Nayazov. Vitaly Patyuk. Irina Sergienko. Rahina Shershenkova. Anna Shkaparnyats. Sulkan Sasari. Jahangir Sataboliev. Chikachuk Yana. Mikhailo Verkolyak. Finn Weinholtz. Maximilian Zabski. Anna Maria Jankowska. Next, presenting the LL.M and International Intellectual Property. Ola Babic. Tamar Barajda. Emre Demirtas. Yan Hu. Demeli Isakova. Maria Kliachko. Solomia Kurichuk. Lydia Levitska. Looks like we have room for one more. Yarina Mandyak. Fernanda Medina. Chema Austi. Malo Plugolen. Ilada Puhaiko. Juan Wang. Olena Yarmachuk. Gana Yelovitz. Akyong Zhao. Next, presenting the Master of Laws in AI, Legal Innovation, and Technology. Natalia Alejandro Corigliano Gallardo. Golsu Elena Demir. Nada Jovanovic. Tornike Hidasheli. Elizabeth Mirta. Danilo Panov. Ulan Radmir. Nitin Sudhakar. The final LL.M. to present, the Master of Laws in Trial Advocacy. Asifa Kanwal Abro Abasi. Maria Didek. Roman Hershemenko. Alexei Kiko. Florian Deitmer Lugemer. Gracia Yasmin. Jovan Milishevsky. Maya Powell. Nana Rubashvili. Vitas Rodokas. Elena Schlegel. Maya Tashavska. Verica Todorovich. Emma Vonner. Jia Wong. Xiaofei Zhang. Dean Sarneski, that concludes the candidates for the Master of Laws. Congratulations to the graduates of 2026. At this time, I call upon Associate Dean for Faculty Affairs, Ralph Donaldson, to the side podium.
I present the 2026 graduates of the Juris Doctor from Chicago-Kent College of Law. Again, hold your applause. Will the candidates please rise? Gabriella Acker. Eugene Ajay. Abdul Aziz Afaha. Marshawn T. Allen. Isabella Adriano. Patrick Angelette. Alitza Ardon Mercado. Jasmine Avalos. Alexa Nicole Bazik. Ivana Bailey Munoz. Glenn Bautista. Mona Badmani. Ashley Danielle Bendel. Lisa Bernth. Ben Bilson. Nectaria Bloom. Alexandra Bogner. Dominic Joseph Borelli. Aiden Boyle. Ellen Breda. Aslyn Louise Bradenberg. Matthew Brenza. Annika Carlson. Chloe Carroll. Ayelet Cheval. Zinera A. Chisti. Colleen Warner Christensen. Carter W. Christensen. Casey May Chula. Cody Clark. Emma Catherine Klein. Rufus Coates Welsh. Hannah Rose Cohen. Catherine Therese Connors. Brian J. Crawley. Jill Kuvala. Elizabeth Westward Dade. Aria Dedman. Willem de Koning. Benjamin Michael Depta. Martin Theodore DeMarco. Nicolette D'Souzias. Alexander Thomas Dyer. Allison Taylor Ellie. Rachel Nuri Un. Morgan Shea Fahey. Annika Fisher. Harriet Fitzgerald. Alexandra Foley. Matthew Foote. Noah Foss. Abigail Maya Frazier. Eric Furman. Lauren Gambino. Jacqueline Teresa Garcia. Haley Elizabeth Garvey. Kylie Gava. Alexandra Victoria George. Alexander Janeski. Margita Jensa Kochu. Tashi Gordillo. Danny Joyce Graham. William Grimm. Brennan Grahn. Emily Joan Wio. Christian Guzik. Zara Hayter. Robert Hansen. Margaret Harrington Lee. Olivia Harris. Brett Mason Hart. Mateo Hurst. Nicole Hentes. Mary Marguerite Hester. Micah Hillier. Riley Hinton. Taylor Horton. Jack Horowitz. William Huff. BJ Hulls. Tala Ibrahim. Alexandria Jaworski. Christopher Jenig. Jacqueline Jones. Tatiana Jordan. Stephen Jung. Lauren Justice. Charles Cantor. Julian Caston. Emily Katz. Aisha Christina Kecht. Sonia Khan. Sarah Khan. Vivian Anastasia Kilias. Alyssa Moore Kinzer. Cameron Klain. Sydney Nicole Knapp. Michael Knowlton. Millicent Coachman Sabatino. Eunice Y. Kipada. Jack Kersel. Brandon Tyler Lawrence. Raven Lawton. Samantha Alexis Takobai Lehman. Rachel Eleanor Lehman. Jan Lee. Jared Matthew London. Dan Luiton. Rebecca Ruth Lustig. Rahim Mahmood. Nicholas Carter Manaligad. Kiran Manohar. Vanessa Markford. Ashley Lynn Marshall. Sophie Margaret Matheny. Donovan Patrick McBride. Melissa McCollum. Colleen Marie McCormack. Tyrone McGowan. Brian Melby. Joshua Liam Melton. Amy Miksh. Dennis Veselinov Milkchov. Kat Miller. Tiffany Lara Montiel. Julnacia Moorhead. Caitlin Moriarty. Kara Mullins. Andrew Murphy. Serena Lucia Napolitano. Solaris Nakin. Shruti Nayi. Angelo Nicoli. Graciela Cruz Nira. Marissa Nugent. Emmanuel Onyate. Vinit Patel. Shelby Peavy. Max J. Peterson. Nicole Piazza. Sierra Jerry Leanne Potter. Harrison Robert Powell. Margot Braden Hostovska. Valerie Ramirez. Valeria Ramirez. Francis Ramirez. Gabriela Ramos Santiago. Maxwell Ransom. Mizan Elise Raul. Lily Olson. Adriana Rivera. Jocelyn Rodriguez. Juanzo Rodriguez. Jonathan Roser. Jordan Y. Rogers. Edward Thomas Russ. Olivia Marie Salvi. Georgia Rafaela San Pedro. Allison Sartini. Brooklyn Simone Scott. Abigail Sequeira. Brianna Nicole Serrano. Bryce Marie Scheffler. Nadia Siddiqui. Claire Adeline Sigla. Colin Smith. Dylan Smith. Dong Un Song. Himani Soni. Danielle Saint Amand. Abigail Steinberg. Adam Steslicki. Harry Anna Catherine Strickland. Lynn Sun. Abigail Tellez. Sirvani Thalakala. Joshua Thompson. Zachary Thompson. Jerry Takash. Sylvia Tolchek. Maya Tomlinson. John Travlos. Gabriela Trevino Gutierrez. Thomas J. Trosch. Annika Tylik. David Swedberg. Andres Vasquez. Robert Bradley Vaughn. Errol Vickers. Micah Roy Villanueva. Season Walker. Andrew Walsh. Max Henry Wang. Anna Marie Warfield. Taylor Wasakonis. Marie Annalise Watson. Brooke Weiss. Allison Wiebe. Chelsea White. Arinaya Wiggins. Sierra Alexis Wilburn. Kevin Weir. Shmel M. Wickoff. Savannah Yamet. Gabriella Uash. Caleb Youngman. Seung Rung Yu. Zachary Zarnik, excuse me. Last but not least, Anissa Menard Zuhair. Zubair. Dean Zarneski. This concludes the presentation of candidates for the Juris Doctor degrees. And now I call upon Provost Hudson to the podium to confer the degrees of Master of Laws and Juris Doctor.
Hello, graduates. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Illinois Institute of Technology and by recommendation of the faculty of Chicago-Kent, I confer upon you the degrees of Master of Laws or Juris Doctor and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and obligations connected with your degrees. Congratulations to the class of 2026. Will the graduates please rise? This is a very important symbolic moment, all of you. Look at all of us up here, and you see that our tassels are on our left side. What I want you to do now is turn around and face the audience, and you can move your tassels from your right to your left. Congratulations, everybody.
Thank you, Provost Hudson. To the class of 2026, know that it has been my honor as dean to see all of your joys and successes. I look forward to watching your careers flourish. This concludes the 2026 Chicago-Kent College of Law commencement. Again, a big round of applause and congratulations to the class of 2026. I now ask the audience to please remain in your seats and the graduates standing until the academic recession concludes.